We got SoFi and Chase. Now, both of these organizations have things to offer that are good, and also things that we need to watch out for. So, in this video, my goal is to help you understand which one is best for you, for your specific goals, and help you make the most informed decision for yourself. So, let's get started here with Chase because Chase, we've seen it everywhere, right? Like, for example, I used to have a business checking account with Chase ever since like my first business, and that didn't go too hot, so I closed that account, right? But I do have experience with them, and here in the Northern Virginia area near Washington D.C., there are quite a few branches, and so I see them frequently. So at the end of the day, Chase is a massive organization to serve over 84 million customers. But the challenge is that most of the customers they have are quietly getting $15 a month deducted from their account. And number one, they may not even know. And number two, they don't have to incur these expenses. There is a lot of competition going on with online organizations that have much less overhead. These big bank savings accounts are earning you almost nothing compared to what other organizations online can offer you. Your money just gets beat by inflation month after month. And this is when SoFi actually comes into place. So if we're just meeting, by the way, my name is Alex. I am a dad, husband, engineer. And in this channel, my goal is to help you protect and build your hard-earned money to achieve financial security. And if this video is helpful to you, hey, make sure that you give it a like, subscribe to the channel. And if any of the options I'll be going over for you today are for you, make sure also that you sign up with the links in the description to get started. All right, so for the last couple of years, I've been researching the best financial tools out there to help you protect and grow your cash. So I decided to put this side to side here between Chase and SoFi. Now, let's start with Chase here because they've been in business for a long time, right? Since the early 1800s, 1799, they're originally from New York. They are a full service organization. They got checking, savings, mortgage, investing, like all kinds of stuff, right? And they serve also millions of customers, small businesses. Of course, as any organization that I would talk about here on the channel, they are FDIC insured, so they are safe for peace of mind. They also got SIPC insurance protection that is for investing, and also they got a wide network of ATMs and over 5,000 branches nationwide. So that's the highlight of what Chase has to offer. Now, what about SoFi? Right, so SoFi is a lot younger than Chase, but they are gaining ground, I want to say, rapidly because of the business model that they run. They also have much less overhead than Chase because they don't have to worry about employee benefits when it comes to branches and rental of branches and bills, like all the stuff that gets passed on to the gains of that gets passed on to customers through higher rates on their high yield savings accounts and other products. They also specialize overall in high yield banking. That is like the high yield savings accounts. They also got some other ways that you can invest. And also, they got student loan refinancing, personal loans, and they also serve over 13 million members. And they got $117 billion in funded loans. That means people are trusting them, building also a long term relationship. And of course, they are FDIC insured, super protected on their brokerage side, and they consistently rated among the top high yield savings accounts. So these are the highlights, but these are not all the things that you need to know. And at the end, I'm going to synthesize everything and I'm going to let you know which one actually is the best for your specific needs. Now, how is SoFi different from Chase, right? Because SoFi's bold claim is that your money works better when it's all in one app. And it is true if that's what works for you. So currently they are paying up to 3.3% on savings. Compare that to Chase that is paying 0.01%. That's just like a crazy difference, right? And also, by the way, with SoFi, if you want to get the most out of this organization, you do have to set up direct deposit. And so they got all kinds of stuff there as well, like investing, personal financial planning, which, by the way, it's complimentary if you become a SoFi Plus member by setting up direct deposit or paying a $10 per month fee for SoFi Plus. Now, Chase, on the other hand, You can also bank from almost anywhere. They got a large network of ATMs, 5,000 branches. And this right here excels mostly in physical presence and relationship banking for complex needs, right? So it's not like a physical branch is useless. I know that sometimes we think, oh, I just do everything online. But as somebody who used to work at a bank, sometimes it is important to have a relationship when your banking needs are a little bit more complex. Perhaps you need a cashier's check. Perhaps now you're dealing with private banking and you want to have the relationship with the bank and boots on the ground in a way, right? So as I mentioned previously, side to side here, SoFi is just much better when it comes to interest rate because they are offering up to 4.0% for 6 months. That offer is valid through March 30th, so in a couple of weeks from the release of this video. And SoFi savings, if you do not set up direct deposit, by the way, then you get 1.0%, which kind of still better than Chase. Now, the one thing that we need to be aware of here is that SoFi's top rate requires eligible direct deposit to be set up and maintained. In fact, if you want to unlock every single perk with SoFi, then it is best to set up direct deposit. So here's a couple of screenshots from the website when it comes to this is the bonus and the rate up to 4.0%. Remember that in order to get a $300 bonus, you do have to set up a $5,000 a month total direct deposit, and that's going to satisfy the requirements to get the bonus of $300. If you have between 1,000 and 4,999, then you do get $50. So here's a couple of other perks when it comes to their 2-day early paycheck. Most organizations have been looking into are now providing 2-day early paychecks. So that is if you get paid on the 15th, then you could get your check on the 13th, right? Regularly, generally speaking. Anyways, so here is also the FDIC insurance. By the way, SoFi offers it up to 3 million. We're gonna get into this here as we go forward in this video. So here's more details on how the bonus works and how you can get that. Now, here is fees, right? Because this is where Chase quietly can cost you money and a lot of money in the long run. So the Chase total checking for $15 a month, that is, you can avoid it with a $500 direct deposit or $1,500 daily balance. You also have the Chase Secure Banking for almost $5 a month, and you do need $250 in qualifying deposits. And the SoFi checking and savings, you get it for $0. There's no conditions required. And as I mentioned, the minimum balance for SoFi does become whatever the direct deposit is. Always keep that in mind. I do want to make that very, very clear. Now, here's the bottom line because if you don't meet Chase's waiver conditions every single month, that means if you don't qualify for voiding the fee, you could pay up to $180 in 1 year just to have an account. And that, of course, eats up on your bottom line. So, the fine print here is that SoFi does charge a fee for outgoing wire transfers. That's one of the few fees that they charge, and that's about $30, by the way. And a wire transfer is essentially a fast transfer on business days. Generally, that's mostly used with businesses in my personal experience, and that can be mitigated or avoided if you use Zelle because SoFi is also integrated with Zelle, or even the transfers that I make regularly from SoFi or to SoFi. They take about a day or 2 days. It just takes a little bit of planning. And then all things considered, at the end of the day, if you really need your money right away, then you can always just transfer it and get it through the ATM. So with that being said, here's a couple of screenshots from the website from Chase that is with respect to their checking accounts. And honestly, as I was going through this, to me at least, it was a little bit confusing, right? Like there's so many different products. And actually, we're gonna talk about private banking here in a little bit. But man, it's just like different options and it can be a little bit overwhelming. But hey, it just takes a little bit more time in order to get used to and understand exactly what you are getting into. Okay, now here is where access comes into play because one of the things that it's important when it comes to having our money is having the access. How can we make deposits? How can we get the money out? If we have any issues, how can we solve it? So big picture here, ATMs, Chase has about 15,000 ATMs, and SoFi does have a network. They have a partnership with All Point Network and ATMs. They got over 30 or 50,000 ATMs worldwide. Also, they got branches, right? Chase has 5,000 branches, but SoFi does not have any branches. They both have customer support and early direct deposit, both of them up to 2 days early. And overdraft coverage, Chase would just take a win wherever they can, right? So if they can just squeeze you out of your checking or your savings for any fees, any overdraft fees, they'll do it. SoFi, on the other hand, they don't have a fee up to $50. Now, one way that I've learned to mitigate any sort of fees, and this can happen for any reason, right? It's not just because you don't have enough money. It could be because maybe you mistimed your bills and so you unexpectedly get charged on a certain day, or sometimes you just suddenly forget that a large bill is coming through and you forget to transfer. So there's many reasons why you may get an overdraft fee. So one way that I implement to mitigate any sort of fees, that is, regardless of what the bank offers, is by having a line of credit attached to my checking. And that essentially acts as an overdraft protection, which is kind of nice. And whenever something comes through that you were not expecting, you can just pay it off maybe like the next day or the next couple of days. But that's just some insight and a little trick there to help you avoid any sort of fees. So, with that being said, if you ever need to deposit cash, handle a complex transaction in person, or just prefer face to face banking, Chase has a clear advantage over SoFi. So, as you're going to notice here, a lot of the times, one thing I've learned is that sometimes the more money that you have, maybe you just need a little bit more complex needs, right? It's kind of like when you do your taxes. You can do your taxes up to a certain point if you want to do them well, right? Then once you start having investments or losses in your investments, or maybe you start having house, maybe you start having rental properties, or things just get a little bit more complicated, perhaps a business, then at that point, in my personal opinion, you want to hire somebody that breathes and dreams about that kind of stuff, right? So that's kind of the way I personally see the banking sides as well. But the best of both worlds, I'm going to share with you what it is. So when it comes to safety, of course, both of these are trustworthy organizations. And SoFi does go further on FDIC insurance. So FDIC insurance, which is a peace of mind, and the government gives you money back in case the bank goes under, right? So Chase covers you up to $250,000 per account per depositor. SoFi up to $3 million by having a partnership with other banks as well. And they both got specific protection for that investing side that is up to $500,000. So why it matters is that for most people, the $250,000 FDIC is more than enough. But if you're parking a lot of cash, then the $3 million coverage for SoFi, it could be meaningful, right? So depending on what you are looking for. In fact, a couple of days ago, somebody asked me, "Hey, where do multimillionaires park their money?" They usually tend to spread their money amongst different organizations, different banks, and they always look to be insured fully by the FDIC. So, anyways, I'm just gonna leave that there because for most people, the 250K will be enough. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. All right, so with that being said, SoFi, at the end of the day, the way I personally see it, is built to reward their customers. They have a lot of point systems, and that's kind of what my experience has been and my observation. So they do have a welcome bonus, as I mentioned previously, up to $300 in cash. Chase also does offer a $900 bonus up to when opening a checking plus savings, and you do have to have qualifying activities. So SoFi also has a premium tier, that is, and they offer you financial planners, and you can access this premium tier, quote unquote, with $10 a month or setting up direct deposit, by the way. And so the other thing with Chase, however, is private clients for Chase. I want to say that's where they excel the most, and they waive a lot of fees. They have priority service, and they do require. I was doing a little bit of research on that specific front, the private services they offer. You need to have a balance of about 150,000. So with 150,000, Chase private client, it starts unlocking, I want to say, the best features that Chase has to offer. So who benefits the most at the end of the day? The way I see it, SoFi is mostly for everyday people because they don't eat up on the fees. They offer you a lot of point system and rewards. They also have credit cards and whatnot. Chase also, by the way, has like major, like awesome credit cards, right? But Chase is mainly, the way I see it, this is just my observation, for high balance customers and people that just happen to run into them. In fact, this is actually one of the reasons I think a lot of people sign up with these organizations. Like they're literally right there. You can go talk to somebody. They seem more real as opposed to a hocus pocus organization that is online, quote unquote, that a lot of people may not be too comfortable with yet. Especially, I want to say, as you are a little bit older and then you have a lot of money, right? So you tend to trust some organizations that you can go and see and talk to people like face to face. And so, from that point of view, I certainly understand it. So, at the end of the day, the SoFi perks are designed for everyday people, while Chase's best benefits are gated behind high balances. So, at the end of the day, my friends, what each one does right, SoFi summarizing the most of the things that do well: the high APY, the zero fees, all in one banking, the bonus up to $300, and the financial planners. I think those are awesome perks. Chase, on the other hand, it's not like they're useless. It's not like they are, let's say, not good, right? They also got great pros like massive physical network if you want in-person branches. They are a trusted bank. They're being in business for over 100 years. They also got great credit cards and they got business banking as well. So both of these organizations do things really well. The question is which one fits your need. But before we get there, I need to tell you that SoFi also has cons, right? So they got no branches. The rate is conditional. If you set up direct deposit, as I mentioned previously, then you unlock everything. It's a little bit of a newer institution if you compare it to a institution that is hundreds of years old. And they also got a nice bonus with a fine print that will requires $5,000 plus in direct deposit every 25 days or every 30 days to unlock. Now, Chase, of course, terrible for savings. They have some fees that you need to be aware of. The best perks they got is also exclusive for people with high balances. And it's also relationship dependent, right? Because you get real value from Chase when you go and talk to people where you require bankers, perhaps, to talk about your high balances and whatnot. So at the end of the day, which one is for you? SoFi is for somebody. Certainly, I would recommend it to my younger self. If I were looking for a meaningful interest on my hard-earned money, if I were saving money, absolutely to me is a no-brainer. SoFi definitely offers the best interest, but you need to set up direct deposit. Remember that. Also, you're comfortable doing everything through an app and online. You are a little bit more modern in that sense. And also, if you want to start investing without opening a separate account, you can also do that through your SoFi checking and savings. And also, if you don't have anything against setting up direct deposit to maximize every dollar and unlock all of the features that SoFi has to offer. Now, Chase is for you if you do value physical branch access and in person support. Perhaps if you do make a lot of cash deposits, because with SoFi, it's a little bit more cumbersome. It's not that you can't make them, but they do have a fee when you deposit cash, and it's not ideal, right? With Chase, you can just go to the branch and make that happen. Also, if you want to build or are interested in building a relationship, maybe perhaps it is for a mortgage, a business loan, perhaps even you're interested in private banking, then Chase is definitely the better option for that. Or who knows, maybe you already have Chase credit cards and maybe you want everything in one ecosystem. And so you don't even mind paying the fee. And also, if you are willing to maintain the high balances to avoid the fees. So, my personal take, my friends, after going through all of this information, SoFi is just better for most everyday people, right? So, the high APY, the zero fees, the bonus when you set up direct deposit, access to financial planners, and the ease of starting to invest all in one place, that's a hard combo to beat. Now, on the other hand, Chase is not useless, as I mentioned previously, but for most people, it's actually not the best option because the fees do quietly eat into your balance, and the best features are locked behind high minimums. Where Chase really shines is private banking and business relationships, and for that, it can be an excellent option. Now, one thing that you can do is definitely using both of these organizations at the same time, just using SoFi as your primary checking and savings account. And you could Chase if that's what you decide to do, perhaps for credit cards or even if you need branch access some point. Now, one thing that I personally do, I don't just rely fully on online organizations. I love them. I'm all for it, but I also have the need to have a branch and go somewhere where I can go and talk to somebody and get in line. I don't care if I really need to solve something, then I have somewhere to go. Right. So that's my personal insight. And so if you are interested in opening an account with Chase or SoFi, There's going to be links in the description that you can take advantage of. And with that being said, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'm here to help. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace.